Good morning. It's Tuesday, September 8th, 2020, and this is IndigPatriot News. Yeah.
Right on tape, and you don't want to cover it. You should be ashamed of yourselves. The press should be ashamed of themselves. But Biden shipped away our jobs, threw open our borders, and sent our youth to fight in these crazy, endless wars. And it's one of the reasons the military, I'm not saying the military is in love with me, the soldiers are. The top people in the Pentagon probably are.
So, a survey recently stated that about 40% of the military support Donald Trump. I wouldn't say that the soldiers love him. I'd say a proportion of the soldiers love him. I wouldn't say that Biden shipped away our jobs and opened our borders, because we've had sensible immigration reform since before he came in. The only thing that he really instituted was Jeff Sessions' zero tolerance policy, which had the effect of disproportionately separating children from their families and maintaining them in the cages that are currently still occupied. When we're looking at the job numbers, the fact of the matter is that if you go to Statistia, if you go to the Department of Labor's websites and you look at the actual numbers, you're able to see that we had a trend that started in 2010 and carried us through until 2016 of a steady unemployment drop. So to make the assumption that the jobs were shipped away, to make the assumption that suddenly this man comes in and he just boosts the economy is also a little bit of a stretch, in my opinion.
Because they want to do nothing but fight wars so that all of those wonderful companies that make the bombs and make the planes and make everything else stay happy. But we're getting out of the endless wars. You know how we're doing it. We defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate. 100%. When I was
100% means that there's nothing left. 100% means that it is 100%. So let's take a look and fact check this claim right here. 100% of ISIS. I'm using the Ground News app, and what you're able to do is you're able to search for a particular topic. The one that this one is talking about is ISIS, obviously, so let's follow it. Click the little button in the top right. Islamic State group claims a knife attack in Tunisia. The army operations in Sinai continue unabated. British female ISIS suspects are escaping Syrian detention camps. Let's see. RAF jets involved in ISIS mission sent to Black Sea. Let's see. NAF jets bombard ISWAP camp in Borneo. Scores killed. Uzbeks among alleged ISIS members apprehended in Turkey. ISIS nearly wiped out in central Yemen. Turkey, the emir of ISIS has been arrested. He planned attacks. So there you go. Turkey announces arrest of a major Islamic State militant. Palestinian-led forces head to eastern Syria to fight ISIS. The Islamic State's strategic trajectory in Africa. All of these articles are within the last week, okay? So the idea that we've completely dismantled ISIS it's a stretch. It's a little bit of misinformation, and it's misrepresentation of reality, okay? Next up, Patty Talahungva wrote an article for Indian Country Today where she covers 3 books written by Indigenous people. The first one is by Brenda Child, who's a Red Lake Ojibwe and is the author of Bow Wow Powwow. Patty says it is a whimsical and yet educational story of a young girl and her pet dog who are learning about traditions around the powwow. Tracy Sorrell of the Cherokee Nation wrote India No More, and it focuses on the government policy of termination and how a young girl had to make sense of this policy as she was moved from a reservation to a city. And lastly, Commander John Harrington, who's Chickasaw and the first Indigenous NASA pilot to fly in space, wrote a book about his experiences called Mission to Space. It actually includes photos of his training as he prepared for his mission to the International Space Station. It's a pretty interesting article. There's also a almost 27-minute long video where they discuss some of the topics in the books. I recommend it. I'll put a link into the text box underneath of the video, and hopefully if you're interested you'll take a look. I'm gonna support these books myself. Maybe we'll do a review. Proud Boys brutally beat Black Lives Matter protesters at the Trump parade. 57% left, 43% right, 0% center. I'm going to go with the Oregonian, which is a lean right publication. So, right-wing activists and supporters of President Donald Trump caravanned down highways around the Portland area in support of the president and police and in opposition to protests in Portland this summer. Later, part of the group broke off to join a Trump rally at the Oregon State Capitol in Salem in the afternoon, which quickly spun off into violence and led to 2 arrests. This sounds like a riot to me, right? The crew's rally in support of President Trump began in the parking lot of a community college in Oregon City. Several hundred people gathered, many dressed in red, white, and blue, wearing Make America Great Again caps and carrying signs bearing Trump's likeness. The event was organized by Oregon for Trump 2020, a Facebook page for supporters of President Trump's candidacy. So, speakers at the morning rally staked out their opposition to weeks of protests against police violence and in support of the Black Lives Matter movement since the death of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis Police Department in May. Many invoked Christianity in their political stances and their support for President Trump. I feel like invoking Christianity and Trump in the same sentence is like, what was it, an oxymoron? It's an orangey moron. Anyway, more than 100 people attended the rally in Salem, including some members of right-wing group the Proud Boys, while a small group of counter-protesters supporting the Black Lives Matter movement stood nearby. Some in the right wing carried guns, baseball bats, sticks, and pipes. So do you think that they went there to have a rally, or do you think that they went there anticipating violence? The Salem Police Department, supported by Oregon State Police, made multiple arrests after rally-goers attacked some of the counter-protesters. Videos on social media show right-wing protesters chasing, tackling, and assaulting left-wing protesters with weapons, fists, and pepper spray. Paintballs were also fired between the two groups. After unfolding a large American flag on the steps of the Capitol, right-wing protesters charged counter-protesters, leaving several injured. Right-wing protesters made a second rush later, tackling and beating at least one person, leading to 2 arrests. So if we were reading this from another source, and this was a Black Lives Matter situation, wouldn't they be called rioters? Isn't that what they would be called, as they're injuring people and they're rushing people? Ty Parker, 53, of Durango, Colorado, was arrested on suspicion of misdemeanor assault and first-degree intimidation, an Oregon State Police spokesman said. Trenton Wolfskill, 37, of Eugene, was arrested on suspicion of misdemeanor assault. Both were released, police said. So they have some videos by Sergio Olmos on Twitter. I'm not going to go into the videos. Videos posted on social media Monday showed speakers at the rally invoking more religious language. One such speaker went on to invoke conspiracy theories. He accused elected officials of pushing a pedophilia agenda and suggested that Democratic leaders be shot dead in the street. Videos showed the line was met with applause. It's inciting, okay? I watched a video where Black Lives Matter... They claimed it was a Black Lives Matter leader. It was an article from the right. I have no proof that it was an actual leader, but I do know it was somebody on a mic, and he was talking about busting police heads. I don't advocate for either of that. Advocating violence on our fellow countrymen is the antithesis of what we should be doing. We are divided right now, which makes us vulnerable to attack. It's just how it is. Can you trust if your neighbor is of a different political party that they're going to come to your aid right now? I'm not too sure on my own. So participants of both rallies Monday include members of Patriot Prayer and the Proud Boys, right-wing groups that have frequently fought with left-wing activists in downtown Portland, including those who identify as anti-fascist. We know about how Jay Danielson was killed on August 29th, a member of Patriot Prayer. They stated that he was a non-violent individual, etc. I don't have any proof to the claim otherwise, but I read where he was also carrying a handgun, and I haven't seen footage. I've heard and seen something from way off in the distance, but I haven't seen footage up close that allows me to make a determination on my own. Okay? In any case, the Proud Boys are planning to hold another rally in downtown Portland on September 26th. So we'll see how that one turns out. I'm at WIKWEKO on Twitter, IndigenousPatriot.com. If you enjoy what I'm doing, please share. I'm trying new things out. We will polish things as we go. With your support, maybe we'll turn it into something. Thank you.